how does one get in the Hall of Fame?
Well, we're going to make the formal announcement in January. Okay, and hopefully we'll have all the applications in by the 28th of February. And there's a criteria. I say number one, you must have graduated Edison on or before June 1996. And other criteria are, but it's not limited to. They must have contributed to the community, and that's not necessarily a stock community, but it also could be the community they're living in. Also, it could be based on academic or professional achievement.
So anybody who's alumni or graduate from Edison High School who can fit one or the three of those kind of criteria, they can just submit their name in.
Right, and the inductee ceremony will be on the 17th of June.
Oh, so there's even a ceremony?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. That's 2011?
2011.
Yes. Next year.
It's like applying for a job or applying to college. We're trying to make this as painless as possible. So there's an application form, and then of course you can apply yourself if you're interested in being in the Hall of Fame. But also, if people know of other people who they think is deserving of the recognition, whether they're former Edison students or teachers or coaches at Edison, they can nominate people too. So we're looking for people to come forward and just nominate people and fill out the form and give us the names, and hopefully we can keep this going for at least 10 more years.
We're talking about these people that we recognize because of their success. What do you think in terms of Edison High School? Was it the faculty, the staff? What made people so successful in that community? I mean, I know there's a lot of them that came out of there. What were some of the reasons why? Was there individual people that you felt that inspired you guys?
I think a lot of it were the teachers and coaches, honestly. In retrospect, I mean, what they got me to do as a student, and to improve and better myself, I was primarily the teachers and the coaches around there. And I think during our heyday, there was a sense of community there. Great support from the community, and that could be the parents and leaders in that community. I think that's what made it special for us, anyways, back in the 60s and 70s.
I can remember the camaraderie we had in sports, and it rolled over into the academics because the teachers were all supportive. We had the great rallies, and it was a lot of school pride involved during that period of time in the early and mid 60s. I'm a class 68. We had the honor of having the first championship in Edison's history, and that was also in basketball and track and in football. So we had a lot of great camaraderie on the field and off the field. So it was a very close-knit environment. Everybody knew everyone, and the games were packed, and the teachers were supportive, and so it was a real special time.
And maybe Nelson was in the band there, and but that band, Mr. Behrens, he had these students playing college-level material, right? And here's a beautiful thing too. We'd attend they would always play, and we know where the blocky is at the stadium. Mm-hmm. That's where the band would be. Yeah. And they'd be playing contemporary music, like the Horse or something like that. But they would also play the fight song and the alma mater also. I mean, you talk about the spirit. And every time they would be playing the fight song, it seemed like everybody around there knew it and would be singing. I mean, it was like that kind of a spirit. It was.
The fight song. You know the fight song?
Do I know the fight song?
Yeah.
Yes, I do. And I learned it there, man. You're watching the song leaders and cheerleaders. We had song leaders and cheerleaders, right? And they would get their pom-poms, and they would be singing it. But yeah, you learned it, man, as a freshman, And when I was teaching there back about 2005, 2003, and 2005, and that was gone. So we tried to get it back, and we had the you know, the kids singing the fight song again, and of course alma mater. Yeah. But the fight song, as I can recall, was like, smash right through that line so true, watch the score keep growing, Edison is going to win, we're fighting without him, rah rah rah, see that score is, see that line is weakening, we're gonna win this game, fight, team, fight, team, fight, victory for Edison High. That was it, huh?
That's it.
All right, man. That
Okay,
does
so
bring
you
that
get
up.
kind of like what I think Lawrence is trying to describe, but you know, they make movies about it, you know, like on Hollywood about stories like Edison, but nobody ever would believe, you know, when I went to college or when I go to town, like Edison High School was, no group was in a majority. It was made up of Asians, Chicanos, African Americans, white people, Native Americans, and you put all these people in one place, it's extremely crowded, you'd think you'd have problems. But there wasn't any problems, and part of that had to do with the staff really created an environment. But you want to know why I think people were so successful is Lawrence put his finger on it. It's like we got a lot of support from each other. You know, like a lot of our parents are immigrants. You know, they want us to make it in America, but they don't really understand what it means to make it in America. You know, some of our, you know, our classmates only had one parent. Right, and the parent couldn't be there, you know, to support them at the games or student activities. So we supported each other. We went out and rooted for each other. And what Lawrence is right, it's like if the football team was doing great, you know, like the people in the honor society would be out there rooting for them. But if people in the honor society did great, the football team people acknowledged that. It wasn't like, you know, everybody was kind of stuck up. It was more like we were proud that other people in the class, you know, were actually achieving, and we supported each other. And if the drama department had a production, the whole school went to see it. The band was doing a concert, whole school would be there. And so the idea was, you know, having that kind of support, and it's difficult to describe. I mean, I see TV shows now where they're trying to hint at it, but Edison, I mean, it's like not only just the good parts. I mean, you got the support when you're down in the dumps, when you were losing, when things weren't going your way. People were there for you. You know, the teachers were there, the staff was there, but also the students. They understood, because it was sort of like nobody expected us to do well. Now, Lawrence will tell you that. You know, they thought, well, you know, Edison's like a third-place school. They'll always come in third. They don't have any resources. They don't have much money. I mean, I remember the weight room that we used to work out with. We made our own weights out of coffee cans and concrete.
Yep.
We didn't have weights. I mean, we had to make them.
That's right.
We had to make our own weight benches in wood shop.
That's right.
You know, it's basically a wooden bench, right? And then that's what you had to lift weights on.
So what you're saying, rather than sitting around and mope and complain that we don't have anything, the coaches and the faculty instilling us, go ahead and do something. Let's make some of these things.
And so we actually, you know, did really well with having so little resources.
Right.
And it was kind of like an us against them type of thing. It's like, it was like almost a challenge. How far can you go? And a lot of people in Edison just went all the way. They went all the way to the top.
So it sounds like sometimes these faculty, not only they motivate us, but sometimes they're like your surrogate parents sometimes. Sometimes they got to tell you what you're doing right, sometimes what you're not doing right or doing wrong.
The All Edison class reunion will be held on November 26th from 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. at the Stockton Buddhist Church Social Hall, located at 2820 Shimizu Drive in Stockton, California. Tickets for the event are $20 per person. Please send a self-addressed stamped envelope and check payable to Edison Class of 68 to Nelson Nagai, 1246 Greeley Way, Stockton, California, 95207.